start. Look, Kamala Harris, you don't have to guess at what she's going to do. You don't have to listen to her slogans. You don't have to listen to her dishonest rhetoric. You just have to look at what Kamala Harris has done for the last 3.5 years. And the answer is if you're a Michigan worker, the answer is if you're a Michigan auto worker, the answer if you're a Michigan parent, she hasn't done a damn thing for you, and that's not going to change if we give her a promotion to the Oval Office. Now, that's one of the reasons why, I've got to be honest with you, I feel pretty bad for Governor Tim Walz, my Democratic colleague, who's got to go around the country when he's not hiding in the basement like his running mate. He's got to go around the country and pretend that somehow Kamala Harris is going to fix the very problems that she has been creating over the last 3.5 years. And again, you don't have to guess at what Kamala Harris is going to do. She's been in power for almost 4 years, and what has she done? She cast... Not good. It's not good. She cast the tie-breaking vote on trillions of dollars of new spending. That's one of the reasons why Michigan families can't afford groceries. She has gone to war against the American energy sector. That's one of the reasons that Michigan folks are paying 40% higher prices for gasoline and a whole host of other things. She says she cares about securing the southern border, but during her actual time as border czar, Kamala Harris opened the American southern border, flooding our communities with fentanyl and tons of illegal migrant crime. That is the actual record of Kamala Harris. Now, I got to say, you know, she's been in politics for so long, I think that she lost any sense of shame. Because when she campaigns out there in Michigan and everywhere else, what she says is on day one, she's going to make Michigan groceries more affordable. And she says on day one, she's going to get serious about border security. And I think any of us, all of us, with a lick of common sense are saying, Kamala, day one was 1,400 days ago. What the hell have you been doing the whole time? Stop talking about doing your job and go and do it. Now, Tim Walz, though, he's got to go around and pretend that Kamala Harris can be the President of the United States. That's pretty tough work, you know. There are a lot of tough jobs out there, but I think the toughest job of all maybe is going around the country and pretending that Kamala Harris is actually fit to be the President of the United States. I don't think anybody buys it, and that's why Tim Walz has got the toughest job. Now, compare that to me, I've got a very easy job. Because all I got to do is go out and remind the American people that when Donald Trump said what he was going to do, he actually kept his promises. And when Donald Trump talks about all of these common sense economic proposals, you don't have to guess at whether he's going to keep those promises because he was already president for 4 years. And what was the result of Donald Trump's leadership? Number one, we had the lowest inflation in a generation in the United States of America, 1.5%. Think about this. Over the 4 years that Kamala Harris has been vice president, the cost of goods for Michigan families has gone up about 25%. When Donald Trump left office, it was about 1.5%. That's a pretty solid contrast. When Donald Trump was president, we had the fastest rising take-home pay in a generation. And perhaps most importantly, when Donald Trump was president, our law enforcement was supported and our border was secure. That is the Trump record. So I get to go around and brag about my running mate's record, and Tim Walz gets to go around and try to pretend that somehow, if we give Kamala Harris a promotion, she's going to do something over the next 4 years that she hasn't done over the last 4 years. And I think even Kamala Harris herself doesn't believe it, which is why during the rare opportunities when she has an unscripted moment, she actually tells the American people the truth. That's what a gaffe is, my friends. The definition of a gaffe is when Kamala Harris accidentally tells the American people what she actually believes. And that's what she does during some of these unscripted softball interviews. And, you know, the thing about a softball interview is that you've got to be able to hit a softball. And I don't know that our illustrious vice president could actually hit a T-ball based on what she does during some of these interviews. And, you know, You're never I see they have a garbage truck in the background. We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second. But you know, Kamala Harris, she does these softball interviews, and you know, you'll never hear me, never once, hear me complain about this incredible opportunity to run to be your next Vice President of the United States. It's the great professional honor of my life, with one exception. I'd sometimes, as an act of public service and sacrifice, I will do things like watch Kamala Harris on The View so that you don't have to. And then I come here and I'll report it to you. Look, I've chosen a life of service, my friend. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. But I was watching, thank you, I appreciate that, but I was watching Kamala on The View a couple of weeks ago, and you know, remember the entire theme of her campaign is she's going to do nothing that Joe Biden did, that she doesn't bear any of the responsibility, even though that she's the sitting vice president, that she didn't cast the deciding vote on trillions of dollars in new spending, even though we know she did. So in this brief, unscripted moment, they gave her the ultimate softball. They said, what would you have done differently than Joe Biden over the last 4 years? And Kamala Harris says, well, nothing comes to mind. Now, in Kamala Harris's defense, that could very well be the slogan of the Harris-Walz campaign, nothing comes to mind, but it revealed the truth of the matter, that to vote for Kamala Harris is to vote for more of the same. A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for more of the same wide open southern border. It's a vote for more of the same fentanyl flooding into our communities. It's a vote for more of the same violent crime that we've seen on the rise during Kamala Harris's leadership. It's a vote for more of the same increase in the cost of groceries and the cost of housing. It is a vote for more of the same incompetent and failed leadership. And I think the state of Michigan, we're going to vote for a change. We're going to vote for common sense. We're going to vote for Donald J. Trump to get back in the White House.